Hello, everyone. It is Craig here, and I am streaming from the comfort of my home right now because that is the safe thing to do. But I'm actually happy to announce that it's not just me here right now alone.
Thank God.
I'm joined alongside by Pete from his house too. We're quarantined.
That's right. I'm really loving social distancing because it means I don't have to sit in the same room with Craig. Um, so yeah, that's awesome. I think I may do everything like this from now on.
Uh, Yeah, I mean, well, this is working a little tough right now, so we're trying to get used to this whole streaming from home thing. Of course, we've done individual streams every now and then with, I'll do stuff randomly. Pete has done stuff before on his own to like Facebook and
Right. Yeah, it's
such.
always been to Facebook. Yeah.
Yeah, but this is the first time that we're trying to do it where two of us are streaming at the same time, not from the same place. And
And
then if
we should let people know that this is how the show is going to be done tomorrow. What?
exactly, yeah,
Oh,
assuming,
okay. Yeah.
yeah, assuming all
I
goes
just
well here.
the way you were pausing, I'm like, oh, should I have not said that? I've decided. I decided out of. I'll use the line that everybody else is using, out of an abundance of caution, because that's like the phrase this year now. Out of an abundance of caution, I shut down the studio,
Hmm.
and we're going to be, for at least the time being, doing things. Doing our shows kind of like this. I realize it's not ideal, but it is. It's really hard to be telling people to follow the guidelines from the CDC and then pack six adults into a 450 square foot space,
Hmm.
especially when they're dirty like Craig. He's probably caused a coronavirus. So, we want to be safe. So,
Oh, yeah, no, exactly. So, and we're doing it, and it's I'm still freaking out because every they announced that the TSA agent at Orlando International Airport tested positive for it, and Rhino flew last weekend, and he then came in for the show that we did on Tuesday. So none of us are showing symptoms or anything at this current time, but you
yeah,
know,
well, we don't even know that he was in contact with that TSA.
hoping. But
Oh,
Rhino
stop, stop,
Rhino
stop.
is the type of person that he likes to touch everyone. So if you ever see Rhino in the parks after all this blows over, just go up and give him a big hug, give him a handshake. Just
He loves to
really,
be touched.
yeah. Uh, I mean, he's not here right now. He doesn't know that we're even doing this. He probably won't see it at all. So we can just talk about him all we want.
Well, not for nothing. I just told him I put something up for Patreon on YouTube that he needs to go
Okay,
list.
so
So he
he
he might
might
find
actually,
it.
yeah.
He
But
might find.
yeah, so we have a lot of people watching, surprisingly enough. Well, I guess
Really,
what is everyone
I'm not
doing?
looking.
Yeah, we
I'm not looking.
have 507 right now.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow. Everybody's at home. Everybody's
yeah.
at home.
I mean, this time of night, you kind of expect it anyways. But the entire reason, I mean, not only doing this as a test, the entire reason that I actually wanted to do this was because I know one of my favorite nightly traditions at Walt Disney World, as well as Pete's, was watching fireworks if you're in the parks for it. And I was looking back through which fireworks videos I had on my hard drive accessible right in front of me, and I came across my Illuminations Reflections of Earth little mixed video that I did multicam. And at first I was just
Oh
gonna,
wow.
yeah, and I was gonna do this by myself, but then I'm like, well, I need to test this with someone else because it doesn't really work if I'm just doing this alone. We already know we can stream by ourselves, but then I had to involve you into it, Pete, because Illuminations was your show. That
Yeah.
was your
Yeah.
thing.
You see. So you wanted me in here to make me cry.
Well, but you're not actually going to watch the video, so
Oh, okay.
unless you start ignoring me as soon as we started and go on YouTube and watch it alongside everyone else.
No,
But
I don't need to cry. I've cried enough this week.
yeah, we're just going to mute our
Did you?
microphones and talk
Oh,
about everyone in the chat and such.
Okay, but did you get emotional when they announced they were closing the parks?
Mm, not.
Oh yeah. Okay. Look who I'm asking. Look who I'm asking.
I,
Um,
I didn't.
I did. I got very emotional. I got very emotional. Um, just when because it was the announcement that World was closing and Cruise Line was shutting down operations. It just and not from a business perspective. I mean, certainly that's upsetting, but just as a fan, I really got emotional.
Yeah. It was weird. So I think I
And,
don't.
and I will translate from Craig into English. That means I'm very sad.
Yeah, in a way. I think it dawned on me today when, like many other people, you wake up and we're so used to being inundated with what's happening in the parks on social media, and there was still a couple people out and about around some of the resorts or Universal City Walk, and even that just was it just seeing that was kind of like eerie. So I think probably tomorrow or Wednesday is when it's like really really going to sink in that it's just it's not open and we don't know how long it will be. But I I should not have gone into the parks after all this, after really it started ramping up and they announced that they would be closing. But I did go in on Friday because I was at a store, a tattoo parlor close by Animal Kingdom. So I was like, I'll just pop in.
Did you get a tattoo?
I did.
What?
Yeah. So
What?
it,
Where?
on my arm, it's not I don't I it you can see it at least if you're watching the video. I don't know if you can really. It's tiny. It is very tiny. So it's
Well, it's probably a normal size, but that massive muscle makes it look small.
no, it's actually it's a tiny tattoo. It was my first one and it was one of the Friday the 13th specials. So I was like, I'll go ahead and do
What
it.
is it? I couldn't tell what it was.
It's the logo for Black Spire Outpost for Galaxy's Edge.
Oh,
So I was like,
oh, look at
it was.
you.
I mean, it was important to me this year. It's being at the grand opening of Disneyland's, getting to go in Walt Disney World's months before it was opening, still under construction. So
Yeah,
I was
you
like,
had a.
it was kind of meaningful. So it was $13. So I'm like, I'll do it. And if I don't like it, then whatever. It's tiny. It's not
Oh, it
like
was $13. Okay.
yeah. Oh, and it's.
I see
But
you went all in on the tattoo, Craig.
well, at first I was like, no, it's too small. I want a bigger one. And then he pulled out like the next size up that he had printed out for it, and it was massive. And I'm like, I don't think I can do it that big. Like it was probably maybe like 4 times the size of what ended up on my arm. And I was like, if this is actually painful, I'm going to be miserable sitting here doing this. So I'll go with the small one first, and then I'll build up from there.
There you go.
Because everyone
Yeah, I
says,
want to get another one.
yeah,
I
everyone
get it.
says different things. They're like, oh, it's gonna hurt, it's gonna feel terrible, and like there was a couple moments where I winced slightly,
They
but
say that only, like, really only when it goes across like bone, that's when it really hurts. So if you're just doing it in an area with soft tissue and not a lot of bone underneath it, because I have mine. I don't know if anybody can see. Mine is right here. It's my sister Sue, who passed away
there
a
we
few
go.
years ago with a chef hat, because she loved to cook. So my sister, my niece, and I all got a tattoo with her name and a different symbol to represent her. So, um,
Yeah,
so yeah,
yours is much more manlier than mine is. So, you went all in the first time. I didn't, but
I don't know if that's all in, but
it's I've
I
seen
want
yours
to
in
get that.
person.
I want to get the hat box ghost.
That's a commitment. That's a
That's
big
a commitment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm ready for that, but that's like an idea I have. So, all right, you gonna play this video for these people?
Yeah, we'll go ahead, and it's 9 o'clock now, so we'll go ahead and play it. Maybe we'll turn on Pete and I's commentary with it too. I haven't decided yet, but gonna go ahead and roll the video now.
I can't see it, so I can't comment.
I'll tell you what's happening. You know it. You've seen it before.
Good evening.
Because they can still
On
see
behalf
us.
of Walt
Do you want me to
Disney
turn off
World,
the
they
picture in
can.
picture?
the place where dreams come
Yeah, let it be
true.
full screen.
Okay.
We welcome all of you to Epcot and World Showcase. We're gathered here tonight around the fire as people of all lands have gathered for thousands and thousands of years before us to share the light and to share a story. An amazing story, as old as time itself, but still being written. And though each of us has our own individual stories to tell, a true adventure emerges when we bring them all together as one. We hope you enjoy our story tonight, Reflections of Earth.
We actually might turn our mics back on, but right now we're chatting about all you guys. So one of the things we just said is we are going to do a question and answer after the video is done rolling, and at that point, I'm gonna start going through questions. So if you have anything, start asking now. I couldn't think of the words for it, but I'm muting my mic again. And we may turn back on the bottom corner, just not right this second. So I'm changing my shirt. I've been sweating a lot since we started. So the problem is, I know a lot of people are saying they want Pete's reaction, but he's not actually watching the video. Only I can see the video live right now. So I can react and say ooh and ah, but Pete can, unfortunately. Right now, I'll fill him in because he's still listening to me on Skype. But right now, the globe is starting to slowly make its way out into the center of the lagoon. Any commentary from that, Pete?
Crush my spirit, don't you? Because not only is Epcot closed, that's never coming back.
It's no, it's not too. And I have you unmuted for right now, just so you know. But
I figured
the picture's not up. But the one thing I didn't think of in all of this is, of course, what was I? What? Oh, Spaceship Earth.
No, if you want to put the picture back.
Oh, put the picture back up. Yeah, I guess
you
I
want
can.
the picture?
Let me see. Okay. Yeah, we're back up on there. So I didn't even think about it. Spaceship Earth is supposed to, go down May 26th if the parks don't open up. I will be devastated.
Look, guys. I don't want to be a bummer. I don't think the parks are opening until June. I'll be honest with you. I don't think they're opening till June. I don't have that on any kind of authority. Just some whispers I'm hearing here and there, and some things I'm putting together, and my gut feeling. I don't think they're opening till June.
Yeah.
I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong, but I don't think I am.
Yeah, I kind of feel that way too, but to hear our full thoughts on that, you'll have to tune in tomorrow at 1 o'clock.
Oh, I'm not allowed to talk about it anymore?
No, yeah, I mean, we're going to talk about it a lot tomorrow, but we have to figure out who's going to be on the show tomorrow.
I guess they all figured out by now that you tell me what to do.
No, but we do. We haven't talked about who's actually going to be on the show tomorrow. Are we just going to bring in everyone that we tested with today?
You know what? You're the producer. You decide. I'm just the pretty face you put in front.
Okay, I will. I'll stew on it tonight. Gosh.
I think I'd like to have Denny on.
Well, Denny's in the chat right now, so Denny.
Oh, hi Denny.
And I just realized too, that means, and Jackie's in here too, we'll be able to bring Jackie in as well for these right now. So.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
That'll be cool because we're gonna do our shows like this for the next however long.
Yeah.
So.
Oh man, there are so many questions and comments coming in right now. I'm like, I might need Jackie to.
Your Skype keep track.
Yeah.
Yeah, your Skype keeps like skipping, and I feel like I'm having a drug flashback.
Yeah, I think it's struggling. Right, my computer's struggling to keep a good connection with you, and also play a 4K video, which is.
Yeah, we maybe should have thought about that.
Yeah.
You know, considering your internet is run by hamster wheel, so.
Better than rhinos. Pete, you would be loving it if you were watching this with all of us right now.
Thanks for the FOMO.
Pete is not currently reading the chat. He is. Yeah, I mean, I guess he could bring that up. If he wanted to, but
I don't feel like.
Yeah, he doesn't. He would have to go on YouTube. That's it. That's all. You would just have to go on YouTube.
Yeah, no.
But
no. I don't feel like.
Okay, I've got to stand up, so I'm gonna remove our picture. Yeah, and I. I do have pants on, for anyone wondering. They're khaki shorts, so don't worry. Now well, our audio's back on. Do we want them to see us again?
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay. I'm not standing up to show off my khakis.
Because he's lying. He never wears pants when he's doing the show. Neither does Jackie. Fun fact. Neither does Jackie.
Well, that could be because she wears skirts and dresses. Actually, and she does most of the time.
Yeah. Yeah, she does.
No, not cargo shorts. Just plain khakis.
Wow, they're really into like what you're wearing.
Yeah. My current shirt I'm wearing is Old Navy.
Yeah, because you're not going to find Dolce & Gabbana on his body anytime soon.
No. If I spend over $100 on any article of clothing, it's either nice jeans or it's got to be like a hockey jersey. So I'm here.
We have our priorities.
We do. We Go On is about to hit its peak right now. Just in case.
I'm glad I'm not listening because I would be hysterical.
I hope we're making people cry right now. Like in a good way, not a bad.
You are. Oh, in a good way.
Yeah. So, I'm not sure what the percentage of cotton my shirts or my khakis are.
Oh, trust me, it's a poly blend. Okay, it's a poly blend. You don't have to guess off that.
Also, we have.
So am I right now. I'm in an Under Armour shirt, so.
We probably have a long time of being able to break down the amount of the percentage of materials in our clothes. So let's not throw it away on one night.
Let's leave them let's leave them wanting more.
Yeah, exactly. However, someone just asked me about no more Sergio at the Italy pavilion, and that's about the only good
tune
news
in
I've
tomorrow. Tune in tomorrow. That's all I can tell you about that. Tune in tomorrow. Because I got stuff to say about that.
But I'll already say right now, I could not be happier about Sergio. I'm sorry that he's out of a job.
Don't.
Not in that way. I think I never liked that entertainment. That never.
Okay, look. You know what? That pig they made CEO is using this crisis as cover to do what he's wanted to do, which is cut more entertainment. Okay? So, no, it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing at all, because if you think Sergio or any of the rest of them are coming back, they're not. This is what he wanted. And he got his wish. Coronavirus is Christmas morning for this jackass.
Oops. Whoop, started it over again by accident. Okay, I'm not going to hit that button again.
See, now that was the proper ending for Illuminations.
It was.
That's how it should be.
Oh, yeah, no, it went out very nicely. So when you watch this back later, you'll be able to see that. So now let's get...
I'm touching my face.
Yeah. So obviously we're going to start answering questions now. A lot of the questions were about stuff involving the closure. So I'm going to have to scroll back here just a little bit to try to find something that is not about that. So if you have
maybe if Jackie can keep an eye on it and just text me or you or both of us.
Jackie, if you're listening, can you do that? Just a couple good ones that you've seen. So this is my favorite kind of dead air, the kind that ends with me doing a sigh moan as I'm scrolling through. I'm gonna switch to you right now, Pete, because I'm sure people are getting bored of looking at me.
Trying to figure out what questions to.
They are literally coming in so quickly that it's so hard. Because then I've got pop-ups going all over the place everywhere, but
All right, did you switch to me?
I switched to you. Yeah, it's you.
Oh, Jackie just said she'll grab some. So, yeah, look, I'll talk a little bit about the closures, just from the standpoint of I'm incredibly sad that it had to be, but it had to be. And if you're one of these people that says we're all overreacting, don't even bother with me, okay? Because I'm up to here with that. I'm up to here with that. This is not the flu. It's not a cult, okay? It's not the flu. It's not a cult. Now, trying to keep that crazy 90-year-old lady up the street in the house, I had to really get upset with her the other day. Like, if you're not gonna pay attention to this for your own sake, do it for mine. Because if you get sick, I've got to take care of you, and not for nothing, I got some stuff going on right now. She's driving me insane. She's driving me insane with that. But you know, it's what needed to happen.
Yep.
I think the fact that they let go of pretty much all the college program cast members is all you need to know, that they're not opening on April 1st. They're not opening on April 1st. They announced they were closing until the end of this month, and look what happened to their stock price. So that's how this is going to go. This is going to go in increments. So as we get closer to the 31st, they're going to extend it.
Yeah.
And then they're going to extend it again. Pete, can you tell us about the artwork on your walls? Really? It's Haunted Mansion. There, next question.
Okay, I got Michael asked any show/movie recommendations for self-isolation right now. Have you started watching anything, or have you just been too busy?
I caught up on this season of Grey's Anatomy. But I do that, like, I'll have excuse me, I have my my notebook open here. I've got my big monitor over here, and then, like, on the notebook, I'll have something running while I'm working.
Yeah.
But I caught up on Grey's Anatomy. Started watching the documentary series on Netflix, Dirty Money. It's in its second season. That was good. That's pretty good. Outside of that, I really haven't had a tremendous amount of time. I started doing the Grays thing this weekend because I needed some downtime. But I got so much to do right now, it's kind of difficult. So
Yeah. No, Kylie and I have been pretty much, we've been just, once it gets to like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and assuming I'm not still working, like tonight, that's when we finally sit down and watch something. So we started playing a game 2 nights ago, and our first game, like, with movies. So we wanted to take a movie that at least one of us hasn't watched before, and then pick one actor from that first movie, and then choose another movie with them in it the next night, and then keep bouncing off like that. So we started on Saturday night with Ford versus Ferrari, which, if you haven't seen it out there, I recommend. It's like a perfect dad movie of the 90s, but made last year. But it's just really phenomenal. It's a really well-made movie, and I love it so much. But then
I love Matt Damon.
You love Matt Damon?
I love Matt Damon, yeah.
And he's so fantastic in it too. Like, but when is he not wonderful?
Yeah, he's good. He's good, yeah.
Never seen anything I haven't liked him. But we didn't go off of Matt Damon from that. We actually went Christian Bale, because Rhino and I have been talking about The Prestige a lot the past couple weeks. So I showed Kylie The Prestige for the first time. The Christopher Nolan movie with...
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Oh my gosh, Pete. It's Hugh Jackman and Christian Bale play competing magicians, like, kind of right around the turn of the century. But I wouldn't give away anything more than that. But Michael Caine's in it too, Scarlett Johansson, like, just, it's phenomenal. So add it to your list. I know you won't.
Someone's asking, Craig, if wants thoughts on the Cinderella Castle makeover so far. I haven't seen it. I'm assuming you have.
I've been paying attention. I only went in Magic Kingdom once since they started working on it, and I didn't see in person the rose gold additions that they kind of added to the actual siding, but I saw the repainted blue turrets, and it looks really nice. So it didn't really dawn on me though that like it's kind of going to have a lot more of a closer look to Disneyland's castle.
Really?
It's all said and done. Yeah, I mean, closer than our two castles were before. Still not the exact same thing, but I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know. But
See, I love rose gold, so I don't know. Somebody else is asking. Denny is sending these through. Do you think the closure will impact Disney's financial plans for major future projects? No, I don't. I don't think it's going to impact their financial plans for major future projects. Like everything going on at Epcot right now, everything being done to get ready for the 50th anniversary, I think is going to continue to happen. I think what you're going to see are massive cuts in other areas and massive increases in price. Notice something very interesting today. They've had discounts up at Walt Disney World hotels through September all year. They've all disappeared after July 9th. There is not a discount on a room anywhere after July 9th. And this is, kind of eerily reminiscent of what they did when they announced the opening date for Galaxy's Edge. When there were all these discounts available for the fall, then they announced Galaxy's Edge and they got rid of all of them. And of course, their business tanked. If they are really thinking right now that they are going to be able to reopen and not discount the crap out of those hotels, they are out of their minds. So, and it's like, okay, because it's not hard enough for us to sell product right now. So let's take the discounts away? Are you kidding me? Although I will say, I mean, if you want to do Disney over the 4th of July, it's a good time to book the rooms because there are some great prices out there right now. I was stunned. There were availability problems a month ago because I look for 4th of July. There were availability problems a month ago over 4th of July weekend. There are no availability problems now. None. Every single resort has rooms available. But the discounts end July 9th. So I'm really hoping they get their crap together and in one bag. And I'm trying to be good because I'm sitting in my office, and in my office I'm allowed to curse. But I got to remember I'm doing this. So that's what I think. Favorite Magic Candle Company sense for being stuck at home. I will show you exactly what I am burning right now. If you can see it, it is very Vero. Nice, beachy. I think it's the same fragrance as Castaway Cruise. And actually, I burned this down to like the tin. So I'm just going to blow that out. I love that. I love that fragrance. Contemporary, of course. Another one that I was burning the other day. So just in case you wonder if I actually use these myself, I'm sitting in my office and there were two of them sitting here. Japan is another great one. It's very floral. It's very up. I'm finding that I want fragrances right now that are happy, up fragrances, as opposed to like Mouse Waffles, which is a wonderful fragrance, but it's that warm, homey fragrance. I don't want that right now. I want up. So Contemporary is a really good one for that. The new one, Pixie Dust, I didn't think I was going to like it, but it's really, really nice. So that's another good one. Just bought a bunch of the air fresheners. I use them in the bathrooms. I use them in my car. Code Disney Info saves you 15%. And we could use the help right now. So magiccandlecompany.com. Great way to bring the parks into the house. And if you think I'm not going to use that line every time I'm on camera for the next God knows how many weeks, you're crazy. So, but thank you for asking that question. Um, Someone wants to know if Craig's going to watch Jojo Rabbit next.
I actually just watched that the weekend that my parents were here, so they hadn't seen it yet. So I already watched it, and
I'm
it's
not
another
giving
one
you
I
people
recommend.
enough work.
What's
I'm
that?
not giving you people enough work. You have too much time to watch movies.
It was a Saturday night at 9 o'clock. You let us break for 2 hours every weekend. Everyone knows that. We only get 2 hours on the
I'm
weekend,
a
and we
victim
choose
of
it
my own.
wisely.
I'm a victim of my own generosity. Um, do you think that they'll be speeding up construction projects while the parks are closed? No, no, I don't. Um, I would doubt it. They might, but I would doubt it. Um,
Yeah,
are the
it's.
parks doomed? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Craig.
I was just gonna say, it makes sense why they would try it because they don't have to worry about people, and they can kind of, people in terms of guests being in park locations. They can do a lot of that, but then it all comes back to fiscal responsibility, and if they don't have revenue coming in, then some of the we talked about it before all this happened, saying, oh, what's going to end up being cut from like the Epcot project. Before, I was the one person saying, no, I think it's going to be Chapek's baby and he's not going to do anything with it. But now it kind of seems inevitable that
I
something's
don't.
getting cut.
I think the 50th anniversary and the revenue it's going to bring in became more important now than it was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So I disagree with you on that. Are the parks doomed without a chairman of parks and resorts? Depends on how long that goes on. Because right now there's no buffer between Lex Luthor and the troops on the ground. There's no buffer. So let's see who they put in there. If they put Josh in there, he's our last great hope. But who knows? Who knows right now with all this going on? What content will you be doing over the next few weeks? Great question. I mean, we'll be doing our regular shows. So we're going to be doing our DCL show, our DVC show. We have a couple other things planned. So our normal shows, our dining shows, stuff like that. But I have a feeling that what we're doing right now, is going to bring about other things.
Mm-hmm.
I find myself wanting to do this. So we'll see. We'll see. Can Madeline be on one of the live streams? She's not leaving the damn house, okay? She's not leaving the damn house. The woman stays where she is. A 89-year-old asthmatic. She's not leaving the house. So no, you're going to have to do without her. Do you think they will raise pricing at the parks because of the closure? I think that's a given. I think we're going to see massive increases in ticket prices, in food prices, merchandise prices. I don't see any way around it. Unless they do start cutting, what are they going to do? They're going to stop building Tron? It's sitting there. Same thing with Guardians of the Galaxy, Ratatouille. They can't stop these projects now. They can't. So I think that's the only place they can go. Because you got to remember what happened. Remember what happened when Shanghai was being built and they ran over budget. Okay, we were, for ages, there was the hashtag Thank Shanghai because of all the money grabs, right? Remember in Tomorrowland, oh God, why can't I think of the name?
The cabanas.
Cabanas in Tomorrowland for $800. I think what's coming is going to make that look great. So just, brace yourself, because I think there's no alternative, because it's not, now Shanghai is closed, Hong Kong is closed, Tokyo's closed, Paris is closed. There is not a single Disney theme park in the world that's open right now. Not a single Disney theme park in the world that is open right now. Just wrap your head around that. I mean, so I think there's no question about that. Craig, what's your favorite place to eat outside Disney in Orlando?
I mean, do I really want to tell people where I go and eat? Because otherwise they'll they'll come and find me.
Oh, please. Like anybody cares.
Uh, Now I
Come on, come on, Flooney. Tell us where you eat.
yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of my favorite place. So we have a lot. Like I this is
Well, Craig's deciding. I
yeah.
can tell you mine.
Okay.
I can tell you mine easily. That's an easy answer. Linda's La Cantina on Colonial Drive in just outside of downtown Orlando. It sounds like it's a Mexican restaurant, but it's not. It's a steakhouse. It's been here since the 40s, I believe. Family owned. The decor is very stuck in the 70s, and for that matter, so are the patrons, because it's an older clientele. But the food is absolutely ridiculous. The steak is so good. It's wonderful. And then like you go up to a place like that and you get this amazing steak, a New York strip that's like $35 when you're used to paying $55 for it at Disney. And you just remember like, oh wow, yeah, there are places to eat that, aren't that expensive. So, but Linda's La Cantina on Colonial Drive is my favorite place to go.
Yeah, it's a good choice too, because we used to go there a lot after shows. And
we did
a tradition. I will say probably my favorite place currently right now. It could always change within the next couple weeks, and the more I miss it. But I love a little taco place called Tin and Taco. There's, I believe, 2 of them in Orlando. Rhino introduced me to it. But
this is where he takes Kylie for romantic dinners.
Oh, actually, she had it before me, and she got sick from her food there, so she refuses to eat it.
So please, certainly put that forward to our audience.
I have eaten there multiple times without getting sick. Rhino eats there regularly and has not gotten sick, but it's really, really well done tacos. There was one location downtown, one in just south of downtown, and it's really good if you find if you find yourself there. I would not go out of my way for it though, to the people who don't live here.
Yeah, no, well, you had me at salmonella. How are you and all the folks at Dreams Unlimited doing during this difficult time? We're fine. There are people in much worse shape than we are. Obviously, our business has been dramatically impacted. There's no sugarcoating that. We're in the travel business. I'm not going to sit here and tell you we're doing great. I know our agents, always been proud of our agents, but I am so proud of them right now. The job they did advocating for their customers, their clients, and spending all that time on the phone, hours and hours on hold, trying to sort things out for clients. Because everybody, there was a lot of questions. There's a lot of confusion. And, no matter how overworked they were, they remained calm and compassionate and understanding and supportive, and then, tried to answer questions and find out what their clients wanted to do, and then went and advocated for it. And I'm so proud of our agents. I'm so incredibly proud of them. And we've been getting so many emails from clients thanking us. And we've been getting a lot from people saying, I used to think I didn't need a travel agent. After this, I will never be without one. Because this is why you have a travel agent. I've been saying a couple times to folks, these people will book more trips in one day than you will in a lifetime. And they're pros. They know the ins and outs. We didn't just pull people off the street. These are really talented, smart people that know the ins and outs, not just of the parks, but of the process. And because there's so many moving pieces with Disney and reservations, and then something like this happens. And so you want somebody that knows what they're doing. And so incredibly proud of them. And you know what? Yeah, we could use your support right now. You're all going to go on vacation at some point, right? You're all going back to Disney. Go book it now, please. I realize we don't know what's going to happen, but if you're thinking about the summer or the fall, chances are the parks will be open. And if they're not, you're not going to get screwed, because look what Disney just did. They relaxed, they removed all penalties for canceling. They've been Disney Cruise Line in particular, they could not have been any better about their, changing their cancellation policies and what they've allowed. They have been phenomenal. So there's some semblance of confidence in booking, and right now travel agencies could use the support. We really could. But thank you for the question. Will the fall 2021 DCL itinerary release be delayed? I doubt it. We're expecting 2 releases this fall. We're expecting the regular release that happens in September, and then a separate release later on for the Wish. I don't think either of those things are going to be delayed. I think, if anything, to try and get more business on the books, they may even do them earlier. But I don't think they're going to be delayed. Where can I go for good Chinese food in Orlando? I have a place that I really like. It's very authentic Chinese. Not everybody likes it, though. It's, again, on Colonial, downtown, called Peter's China Bistro. And I think the food there is fantastic. I've taken some people there. Some people loved it. Some people didn't. So, but what about you, Craig? Where do you get your Chinese food?
I wouldn't call what I get Chinese, but I go to Bento. They're all over the place in Orlando and up beyond to Jacksonville, Gainesville. It's Asian fusion, so they have, but it's very, very Americanized. But it's, it's still, I believe it is Florida, originated in Florida business. So at least I feel like that way I'm supporting a local business in a way, even though it's grown and expanded into chain status. But it's good. It's really good.
I'll have to try it sometime. I've never tried it. Let me see. Have you heard from cast member friends about how the first day of closure went today? I haven't. About today. All I know is that the cast members I'm hearing from, not all of them were told to take 2 weeks off with pay. Some of them are being expected to go to work and do things. And they're kind of pissed about it. But generally, I think there's just a sense, it's the same sense we all have. What's going to happen next? All right, so Disney's paying them for the next 2 weeks. But what happens after that? Because what we've heard is that what Disney has actually said is, we'll pay you for your scheduled shifts. And the schedule had just been put up when they announced the closures. And so people were scheduled for the next 2 weeks. What's going to happen after that? The only people that are guaranteed to be paid are the equity entertainers. Those are the face characters. Their contract guarantees them they get paid whether the park's open or not. So outside of that, nobody's guaranteed here. Nobody's guaranteed. So we'll see what happens. I think, though, that they have to continue paying them, because what they can't afford is to reopen with people that have quit. Mm-hmm. Because that's what's going to happen. These people stop getting paid. They're going to start looking somewhere else. And now they don't have college program to fall back on. So, and if this goes on for a couple of months, which I think it's going to, I think they're going to have to eat that. I really do. What about you, Craig? Have you heard anything?
No, actually, I haven't. I don't have a ton of cast member friends from Disney, particularly. So,
because he hates Disney, he loves Universal.
No, I love Disney. It's just I still, a lot of people that were not college program kids that I worked with when I worked at Disney, they still work at Walt Disney World to this day, and and then other friends I've made throughout the years. So I haven't really talked to any of them though today. I've been literally poring over
this
since I woke up today. I have been doing absolutely nothing but messing around with streaming and trying to figure out a good protocol in terms of how to do it, and I feel like we're striding. So after we get through tomorrow and we get through our first big live show, then I'll be able to actually sit and check in with not just cast member friends, but other friends and family who aren't able to leave their houses right now. Like, I feel terrible. It's my sister's birthday is this Thursday, and it's just
Celebrate it like this.
yeah, we will.
It's a social distancing birthday.
Yeah, just not on the live stream. I'll just FaceTime her for a little while.
Oh, no, I think you should do a live stream. We need content, Craig. You're not in the parks. We need content.
We're going to end up giving them more content than when we were in the parks, probably. That's going to be the end result of all this.
Another question. Will this fall be crazy packed due to rescheduled trips? That's anybody's guess. I don't know what the psychological impact of this is going to be on people. Let's think about it. When was the last time you really thought about touching your face? So we're being disrupted in a way. This isn't like a mild inconvenience. Our lives have been pretty much just completely disrupted for a lot of people. And depending on how long this goes on, it could have a real impact in people's behaviors moving forward about being in crowds, about being in close contact with others. Think about the 30s when the Depression hit. The people that lived through that, now granted, that went on for a long time, but the people who lived through that, my mother is a great example to this day. She still lives. She's impacted by that. She was growing up during the Depression. It informs everything about how she looks at the world. So depending on how long this goes on and how bad this gets, I think it's anybody's guess what the parks are going to look like. Really. So, possibility of Apple buying Disney, absolute zero. Okay? It's absolute zero. I know some market people have been running speculation, and that's all it is. There's no actual discussion from what I've read on anything that Apple is going to buy Disney. But look, Disney's stock price took a hit. There's no question about that. It took a hit. But right now, the company is so grossly undervalued. It's taking a hit because the theme parks are closed. When the theme parks are open, the stock price is going to rebound. Okay, Disney has been a darling of the market for years now, and there's nothing happening in the company with the exception of this crisis right now, which is a little bit like saying, other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play? But with the exception of this crisis right now, Disney's prospects are very, very good. Look at the performance in the studios, the way Disney Plus is performing, how the theme parks have performed up until right now. They're doing well. So I think there's no way Disney allows the company to be sold to Apple. I would be stunned. I would be absolutely stunned. Then again, they made Bob Chapek CEO, so anything's possible. For a family with 2 kids under the age of 5 for a first-time Disney cruise, what itinerary and length would you recommend? If it's your first time doing a cruise, we always recommend the 3 or the 4 night, always. You got to find out if you're okay with it. Not everybody is. Most people are. But, if you're prone to motion sickness and you don't react well to, medication for it, then cruise is going to be miserable for you. But we always say 3 or 4 night, which means you're looking at the Bahamas. Just don't get off the ship in Nassau. Do you foresee the European DCL cruises being canceled? Yes, I do. I don't think there will be any European. I'm not even sure if there's going to be Alaska. Right now, in order to save Alaska, what would have to happen? There would have to be an executive order from the president temporarily removing the restriction that a ship not flagged in the U.S. has to stop in a foreign port. Okay? So, because remember, technically speaking, if you're flagged in the U.S., you have to follow U.S. labor laws. That's why there's only one ship that I know of, a major cruise ship, that's Norwegian Cruise Line's Pride of America, that's flagged in the U.S. All the rest of them are flagged in, the Bahamas and other countries, so that they don't have to follow U.S. labor laws. So that's why the cruise leaves from Vancouver, because it's a foreign port. And then it goes to Alaska, which is an American port, and comes back to Vancouver. So the only other option now that the Prime Minister of Canada has said no cruise ships before July 1st, at least. So what's going to have to happen is they're going to have to leave out of Seattle. They can't stop in Canada. They're certainly not going to Mexico to go to Alaska. So what's going to happen is they're going to have the cruise industry is going to have to get a special dispensation to run sailings out of Seattle to Alaska without stopping in a foreign port and without having to honor basically U.S. labor laws. And do I think that will happen? Probably. Cruise industry is big money. And CLIA is a big. The CLIA is the basically the lobbying. The lobbying arm of the cruise industry. They're pretty effective. So I have a feeling that's what's going to happen. It's the only way Alaska happens. If not, forget Alaska and Europe for the summer, which is going to piss me off because I have an Alaska cruise on Carnival. I'll give you a minute to take that in. If you want to know what I think of Carnival cruises, pay $10 to become a patron on Patreon, and listen to the show I did a few days ago, where I talked about my first Carnival cruise back in January. Would you recommend purchasing the dining plan now if you're planning on going later in the year, just in case they raise prices later? It's not going to get cheaper. And they're not going to lower the price of the dining plan. So I think that's it's
not a terrible
okay.
idea.
I'm being asked a loaded question here, and I'm debating whether or not I want to take the bait.
Which one?
What do you think? What do you think of the U.S.'s response to coronavirus so far? Okay, I'll be fair. I think the initial response to it was incompetent on a level that borders on criminal. Okay? Because let's think about what we were hearing just 2 weeks ago. It's all fine. Everything's good. And now, don't be around more than 10 people and stay home. I think the stock market cratering, single biggest day of loss in the history of the stock market today. 3,000 points. 3,000 points. That's got their attention. Now they're taking it seriously. Sorry to say it, but that's just the truth. And I'm not just saying that because the president's a Republican. I think that's true no matter who's in the White House. The stock market is going to affect. We're going into a recession. And in case you didn't notice, it's an election year. So that's not good for the incumbent. So I think you're going to see it. We need to get the tests out there. Very dear friend is an EMT and believes he was exposed and is coming down with symptoms. And because the symptoms weren't bad enough, they wouldn't test. So this whole idea, and I've heard this from 3 different people now, this whole idea that a test is available for anybody who wants it is complete BS. Complete and utter BS. We don't have enough tests. And maybe if we had the crisis response team that was in place for years, that was let go of in 2017, we would have been more prepared for this. That's all I'm going to say. This is as political as I'm going to get. And if you don't agree with me, I don't care. Okay? I'm answering a question. That's my opinion. Can you transfer a reservation that you made yourself to Dreams? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Just send an email. Oh, God. I think it's reservations@dreamsunlimitedtravel.com.
That's one of them.
I think that's the one you send it to. If I'm wrong, John's going to kill me. But
yeah, I mean, worst case, just John. at
See, now
dreamsunlimitedtravel.com.
you can transfer a reservation you made yourself from like World or Disneyland or something like that. If you do it from cruise line, we can still do it, but you can't be past final payment, and you will not get the same amount of shipboard credit as you would had you booked it directly through us, because cruise line pays us a lower commission when they're transferred. So we get a higher commission when you go directly through us, so we can give you a larger shipboard credit when you transfer a cruise. But you know what? We'll take it. We'll take it. So reservations at dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. I'm almost positive. I'm
Yep.
almost positive. If you had to cancel a trip because of the closure and you rescheduled for May, but they have to continue the closure, will it be refundable yet again? Yes, they are not going to screw you out of that money. They will not screw you out of that money. If you're paid in full, and you moved it to May and it cancels again in May, they will. I can't speak for Disney. This is not official policy, but my guess would be it would be the same thing. We'll allow you to move it or give you your money back without penalty. I think that's what they're going to do. Pete, are you going to Egypt? No. I had decided before this that it wasn't wise when we heard that there were 16 people sick on a Nile River cruise. I'm like, yeah, no, okay. But then Adventures by Disney canceled it. All Adventures by Disney trips for the month of April have now been canceled completely. And I think that is going to continue as well. Can you book a military discount through Dreams? I'm honestly not sure about that, but I can ask. Hold on a second. Craig, talk to the nice people while I do this.
Oh, and me talking? I will figure that out. Let me look at a question, and I'll try to answer a fluff one. You're handling all the important stuff, and I just answer dumb questions about movies and other stuff. So this one caught my eye. When will you guys review Victoria and Albert's? I'm pretty sure that
Never.
they have a policy that won't allow me in there because of dress and such. So,
Well, that's it. Yeah, if I have to wear a jacket and tie, I'm out.
And see, I would. It's just the only one I have right now. I have one jacket that is from when I was a little bit heavier, and then I have another jacket from when I was a little bit lighter, and I'm just right in between. And I don't think right now is the time to be spending money on clothes.
Sadly, I have suits for all my various sizes, which now, as I just bought a suit before we went to Europe in October, and of course I can't fit into it because I've blown up like a Thanksgiving Day balloon. Yes, and I'm off keto, clearly, and I'm comfort eating and stress eating right now. So I just made like the most amazing barbecue ribs. I figure while I'm off my diet, I might as well enjoy it for now because I'm going to have to go back on it soon enough. John is answering my question as we speak. Somebody's asking Craig thoughts on the effect this will have on Universal.
I think it's going to be very similar to Disney's, honestly, all the way around. So in terms of decision making, they're basically following Disney's lead as well too. And so it's the interesting thing about Disney and Universal and all of this, really, for me, not that the parks weren't a big interest, but it was how they were handling the movie divisions. And I don't know if you saw, but a couple hours ago, they announced that Universal would be taking some of their theatrical releases and making them available on demand. And some starting this Friday, others as they come out, charging $19.99 for it and having 48-hour rental on it. So that's I don't. It'll be interesting to see if any other studios does that as well. But I'll say one thing: I didn't get a chance to see like the Invisible Man before all this happened, and something I was super excited to see. And I know that's coming out on demand, I believe, this Friday. So for $20, and I can watch it from my house. I would think about it. I don't know if I'm comfortable spending money like that on stuff when I have Netflix and cable and Disney Plus and everything right now. There's other things I can spend money on, but it's definitely, if this goes on for a while, then it's more intriguing to me.
To answer the question, I got a response from John about military. Can Dreams book military discounts? Yes, but we cannot book Shades of Green or military tickets. I believe the military tickets you have to do like on base, I believe. But if there is a military code that can be applied to a reservation, we can do that. So there's the answer to that. Did you finish the Bob Iger book? What did you think? No, I didn't finish the Bob Iger book because the world is on fire. Okay. So no, I haven't finished it. But generally, it's a good read. It really is. It's a good read. He had a good ghostwriter.
Apparently, my wife's downstairs in chat right now.
Oh.
Well, she's downstairs, but also.
Well, this is
in
how
the
you.
chat room.
Isn't this how you communicate? You text each other.
No, she did text me a little bit ago, but now she's somewhere in the chat room, but I don't see her in there from my little short scrolling. So, yeah, but this is how I plan on seeing her for the next.
Can you see Abby over my shoulder on the couch?
Just slightly. She's kind of in a shadow. I think I see her head though.
Yeah, and then the other one's down on the floor has to lay on my feet. She has to be under my desk, laying on my feet.
Is Abby's
all
head
the time
towards the middle of the couch?
Yeah, more or less.
Then, yeah, you can see her. So.
No, you could probably see the big, massive hole that Dolly chewed in my couch.
That is just being blocked by your shoulder. So.
Okay, good. So. Toledo, Haleo, or Sebastian's? Which one for first dinner of a trip? Well, definitely not Toledo. Haleo or Sebastian? I haven't been to Sebastian's now in a while. I have to go back. But I think probably lean toward Haleo. It's expensive. But it gets rave reviews. What do you think, Craig? Toledo, Haleo, or... Actually, don't do any of them. Go to Topolino's. If you want an amazing meal, go to Topolino's.
I honestly don't have an opinion on those. I haven't eaten at Sebastian's, and I don't. But from what you guys have said, I think Toledo would probably be the one that I would put down towards the bottom. I would say probably. You can never go wrong with Haleo. I'll just say that much. But I know Rhino swears by Sebastian's, and you really enjoyed it too, and so
Sebastian's is amazing.
Yeah.
All right, last question of the night, because we've been doing this for like over an hour now.
It's right, pretty much close.
We weren't planning to do that.
Nope.
Are there other ways that we as fans can support the Diz during this time? Sure. Read the content we have on the site, those Google ads. We get paid on views. I'm not saying just like run up a lot of, actually go read the stuff. We have a lot of great content. If you've never dug in on the Diz, there's so much there. We have trouble keeping up with it. There's a lot of stuff on the Diz that you never knew. So maybe take this time, if you have some time, do that. Supporting our sponsors like Magic Candle Company. That helps us out. Becoming a patron on Patreon absolutely helps us out. And booking your reservations with Dreams. Really want to encourage people to get in that mindset of, you know what, all this crap and crazy is going on right now. Let me just plan a trip just to do that, just to focus on that. We have this, we're the people that love that planning, right? You tell somebody else they got to figure out where they're going to eat 6 months from now, they'll shoot themselves. But for us, it's like, ooh, that's fun. So, I think it's a great distraction and certainly would help us out quite a bit. So those are some of the ways that you can help us out. But Magic Candle Company, Patreon, spend more time on the Diz and the boards. God knows, 20 plus years of Disney history and information on those boards, millions and millions and millions of posts. It's no exaggeration. and using dreams. So, oh my God, do we really have 1,900 people in that room right now?
Yeah, it's currently 1960, 63. We probably just lost a couple people because we said we were getting
Are
close to
you guys
going. So,
enjoying this?
the,
Are you guys enjoying this?
are you asking me or the people in the chat room?
I'm asking the people in the chat room. I don't care if you're enjoying it.
Yes, the people in the chat are enjoying it very, very much. So
All
they.
right, you want to keep it going for a little while? If you can give me 5 minutes to run to the bathroom.
Oh, good. So I get to sit here for. Yes, you can go to the bathroom right now. I'll hold it
Oh,
for a little
thank
while
you.
longer.
All
I
right, let me know.
I just okay. So I'll let you go, and then after you get back, then I'll go.
Right, I'll be very,
Okay.
very, very quick.
Okay. That's fine.
Okay, very, very
So
quick. Just take me off. I don't want to.
it's all on me right now. So
Okay.
yeah. Okay. So let me get back to this. Who's going to be on the show? So I'm just going to answer some stuff here and there as we're doing this. Who's going to be on the show? Tomorrow, we tested today. A non-public test, obviously. This is the first public one. We tested with myself, Pete, Fiasco, Corey Martin, and Rhino. So we know pretty much all of us were able to make it work. So uh, I some of us will be on there. We also said that Denny will be on it as well too. So Denny, again, I know you're still here and sending questions. So we are going to have to test you out on this and check your connection and all that stuff. We're not going to do it tonight, but we'll do it early tomorrow morning. But okay, yeah, don't screw this up. Of course I'm going to screw this up. All the pressure's on me. Oh man, why won't I go to Rhino's hairstylist? Because his hairstylist is far away. It's like almost up in Lake Mary. So I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. So, where am I going from here? Craig, any thoughts on MegaCon? Should it be canceled too? Oh, MegaCon should be canceled. I have no idea right now at this point why they're holding out so long. Like, something's going to change. Usually conventions, with how cold they are in the room and such, I feel like if people spend too much time in, eventually their immune systems start breaking down in those rooms, and everyone's touching everything. They really should not. They should not be. They shouldn't be doing it. But I know why they're waiting for the last second to cancel. But no, I'm not operating on OBS. We've tested it on OBS as well too, and it's right now I'm working on Ecamm. I think I like that a little bit better. Rhino will not be taking his shirt off tomorrow. What is Marlessa? What is my favorite superhero movie? I think without a doubt, my favorite superhero movie has to be The Dark Knight. So it's just it's one of my favorite movies, let alone favorite superhero movies. So yeah, 100% The Dark Knight. What am I going to do with my free time at home now? I don't have a lot of free time at home because, we work from home a lot. So it's just like, it's a continuation. It's just we won't be going in the parks, not recording at the studio. So my schedule's pretty much the exact same as what it's been. Now I just have to doing a lot more post-production and stuff. So it's going to just be a lot more monotonous for me. But in my spare time, to try to keep myself sane, I'm planning on trying to read a lot more. So right now I'm trying to get through the Hamilton book that's like 750 pages, which I know that's not a lot, but it is a lot of text. It is basically a textbook, and it's very interesting, but I'm trying to slug through that. But then, like I said, watching movies, listening to music, playing guitar. So a lot of questions about me and guitar. You can clearly see one of my guitars is behind me. No, I'm not going to play for you right now, but maybe at some point I will do so. But yeah, it's just gonna see what happens. But a bunch of people are asking an update on Michael. I actually just got an email from Michael. I want to say it was last night. I still haven't responded. So he is currently home. He was dismissed from the hospital, and he is recovering. However, we record when he records connecting with Walt. He actually is recording from his upstairs, and so right now he is kind of kept to his downstairs area of his house right now. So he's still able to read and do a lot of research for the show, and he's watching TV and watching videos, all that stuff. But it'll be a little bit before he can actually walk upstairs and sit down and record a show. But that'll start happening hopefully before. I don't think before the end of March, but it'll be soon. So he's ready to get back. But okay, Pete talk time.
I'm back.
Yeah.
You can go to the bathroom now.
Okay, I'll be back.
All right, go ahead. I took time to make myself a cup of coffee. Sorry. I shouldn't be drinking coffee at 10 o'clock at night, but what are you going to do? So let's see. Oh, dear God. Really? Somebody asked this question? Is there a discount for buying Magic Candle Company products? Yes. Code DisneyInfo. MagicCandleCompany.com. Code DisneyInfo saves you 15% every time you use it. And I mean this really and truly. I am so in love with this product, with their products. I wish I could take you into. We had to clear out 2 cabinets in my kitchen to fit all the Magic Candle Company stuff. And no, he does not send it to me for free. I buy it all. I wish I could take this right now and bring it into the kitchen and show you. You'd laugh at me, but maybe I'll do a picture of it and put it up on social. What's the Dr. Phillips neighborhood like? Dr. Phillips is beautiful. A lot of nice homes. Not quite as pricey as Windermere, I don't think. Windermere and Bay Hills. But it is some really fantastic restaurants. They have Restaurant Row in Dr. Phillips and some incredible restaurants there. It's a really nice neighborhood. Really, really nice neighborhood. Let's see. Craig cannot answer this because he's in the bathroom. What show is my guilty pleasure? Wow, that's a good question. I don't think any of them are a guilty pleasure because I'm proud of all of them. The Tuesday show is always going to have, that's always going to be my show. That's always going to be a very special place in my heart. I've told the story many times. I won't go into it now, but that show saved my life. So the Tuesday show, I love all the shows we do, but the Tuesday show, especially now that we've switched formats, I'm really so energized with that show. Since we changed the format, it's amazing what you can do if you take the leash off yourself, which is exactly what we did and what I did. Made me realize how stupid it was to have that format. What was I thinking? Not that the format was bad, but it had gone on too long. It just, let's do this, right? Let's talk. And I even said that to Craig. I think doing this, what we're doing right now, I'm in a very different space than I am when I'm sitting in the studio. When I'm sitting in the studio, there's lights and I'm in my office, right? So it just feels more personal. And I think there's something about this too that I really like. So I'm very much looking forward to the show we do tomorrow. It's not the production value that I would want on our shows, but right now that's what we got to do. Let's see what else we got here. Trips in May, do you think they can happen? I want to say yes, but no, I don't. I really don't. I think you're better aiming for summer right now, to be honest with you. I think you're better aiming for summer. I hope I'm wrong. I really, 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 really hope I'm wrong. But I'm going to be really surprised if May is a thing. What are you going to miss most during the closure? You know, it's funny. I was thinking about this earlier. What I miss, I'm not in the parks all the time. I'm not like these guys where they're always in the parks. I miss not being able to go, right? There's always this sense you have when you live here. One of the great things about living in Orlando. Whether you go to the parks or not, you can, right? I can hop in my car. I can be on property in a half hour, 40 minutes, depending on traffic. If it's a Friday, an hour. But there's a dog moving into the frame, being held by the lovely Kylie Williams. There she is.
Yeah.
Get out of the way so we can see her. Hey, Kylie.
Pete's saying, hey. I have my headphones in, so she can't hear.
Hi.
Oh, and who's that? Which dog is that?
That is Crosby. That's our year and a half old, right? Yeah, somewhere. Yeah, year and a half. So, and then Elvis is somewhere else.
Okay, well, if we're doing doggy show, and tell, Dolly, come here.
Yeah, and then there's Elvis. He's
Come here, by Daddy.
grumpy and
He's like you.
yeah, he's just like me. He's grumpy, and then Crosby is like Kylie. So we have that nice dynamic.
Doggy show and tell.
They're having fun. Oh, jeez. There you go. You're on now.
She's not a she's not a little baby well, she's always going to be a little baby, but she's growing like a weed. I think she's about 45 or 50 pounds now, based on that.
Yeah.
And she hates this. What I'm doing right now, this dog completely and utterly hates.
I mean, she looks comfortable.
She's a golden.
Yeah.
She's a golden. They always look, they'll let you do whatever you want, but you know that they hate it. Have a kiss? Have a kiss? No? Coronavirus? Okay.
That's safe. That happened tonight. We were walking our dogs, and
Come here.
this lady...
And I would do this with Abigail, but she's 65 pounds. I'm not lifting her up. I'll be in traction.
We were walking our dogs, and this lady, as we got close to her with our dogs, she's like, these dogs don't realize that we need to be social distancing. And as soon as we got away, Kylie was like, that was her way of saying, stay away from me right now. Like, oh, well,
yeah,
I don't care.
And there's just no fix for stupid, Greg. There's just no fix for stupid. You cannot get coronavirus from dogs, okay? All right. Let's see. Most underrated quick service restaurant. Underrated. Now that's the key. The key phrase.
Yeah. Because, I mean, in my opinion, a lot of the ones that I love the most, I feel like they're adequately loved. So I wouldn't necessarily consider them underrated. I mean, we have the same conversation about a lot of attractions. Like, people will be like, well, Peter Pan's Flight is very underrated. I'm like, well, who is no one
really.
is. Everyone always admits that. So I kind of feel the same way about a lot of quick service places. Like, even though it might not be for everyone, I feel like I never get a terrible meal at Columbia Harbor House, and so that's always one that I feel like is.
Yeah, but people love Columbia Harbor House.
Yeah, it's that's the problem. What don't people? I guess because even like one that people would say a lot of time is Tangier Cafe at Morocco, but people love that one too. I mean, there's very little quick service restaurants, I think, where there aren't fans of it that are very vocal about it, with the exception of like Cosmic Rays.
Somebody's asking if it's too early for his wife and he'd start planning their 30th anniversary trip to Alani in March 2022. It is. Right now, they're only accepting reservations through December 31st of 2021. So, yeah, no. But good place to go for your 30th. That's doing it right. Let's see. What's my favorite music genre?
Oh, it froze at a
You
really
know,
good place. It's fine.
What's
now.
that?
It paused on a really terrible place for you for a second while you were deep in thought.
Okay, while I was doing this?
It wasn't that, but it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have a favorite genre, but I do like Rat Pack, 60s type vibe. I love classic rock. Pink Floyd, absolutely love Pink Floyd, but I can't listen to it as much as I used to because it reminds me of when I was doing drugs. But Broadway, give me a good Broadway soundtrack. I have to say that it's required, although they take my gay card. So I don't have like one particular genre, but depends on the mood. Depends on my mood. Favorite resort right now, hands down for me, is Wilderness Lodge. Hands down. Hands down. What about you, Craig?
Always Wilderness Lodge. So that's my favorite for years. And I love other ones. I love Animal Kingdom Lodge and Contemporary, but Wilderness Lodge is. I will go out of my way to go there if possible.
Somebody's asking if the closure extends into summer, will they continue flower and garden? No, they won't. They won't. Those plants and everything are designed for a certain time of year. They're not going to do well in summer heat. So, it'll be, wilting and wine instead of flower and garden.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, a lot of the topiaries, if you couldn't tell, they're reused year from year. So if they're burnt out and just destroyed, then that could impact next year's event. So it's important.
Yeah. So no, they're not going to. Does Dreams have agents that specialize in families with little kids? Yes, several of them. There are several of our agents that have. Elaine Edwards is one example. You might have seen her on some of our DCL shows. She's one that comes to mind. Most of the Dreams agents are mothers or moms. So, but yeah, absolutely. What's the best deluxe dining experience for the first night of a trip? I don't think you can go wrong with flying fish. Consistently now for what? Years since Chef Tim took over. Consistently, every time I go in there for a meal, it's phenomenal. And the menu is constantly. They keep their staples. Something Jico refuses to do for some reason. They keep their staples. So the pork belly's always on there, the filet's always on there, but everything else is market fresh. Everything else is always market fresh. Food is so good. I think it's a great way, great hotel and a great restaurant to start your vacation at. So,
yeah.
Outside of things like this, how do you keep the Disney magic alive between visits? Well, it's not a fair question to ask us because that's all we do. Yeah. I mean, it's literally our job is about being in touch with that. So, but I think that's a good question. I know that, when I was living in New Jersey, it was just like, okay, so in those days, the DVC units would have VCRs in them. And we would bring blank tapes, and we would record the propaganda channels, and then play those at home. So we would do stuff like that. And of course, in those days, um, before I started the Diz, before the internet, it was about buying any book I could get my hands on. I religiously read the unofficial guide to Walt Disney World. I still think it's the best guidebook out there. And I think they do a tremendous job with it. They take it so seriously and put so much effort into it. So, stuff like that is how I would do it back in the day. And then for me, that's like starting the Diz became how I stayed connected in between trips. But then we moved down here and, kind of consumed our world. So,
Like for me, if I have a day where I'm going to be at home for pretty much the entire day just editing, then chances are I'm probably actually listening to some sort of Disney music, whether it's a movie soundtrack or if it's music from the parks. I'll end up putting it on at some point too. So I also, there's some stuff that I know, like I know how long the entire track length is for like the Enchanted Tiki Room soundtrack. So that's my reminder, like, okay, it's been 20 minutes. Now stand up and drink some water, and then you can sit back down and work a little bit more. So I use a lot of that stuff to just monitor my sanity while I'm sitting at home.
I have to hear the answer to this question. Craig, favorite social distancing beer of choice?
Well, see, that's not. Oh man, that's not.
Which
fair.
one are you drinking now?
Right now? Well, I said this earlier when we did our test on live stream. I think you might have been out of the room, but I'm celebrating St. Patrick's Day Eve early with a Guinness at home. So,
Aw.
and it's been a long day, so I'm like, you know what? I'll have a nice Guinness. But beyond that, something low calories. So until I can start working out again. What's that?
Can Kylie confirm that Craig is wearing pants?
Yes. Kylie, am I wearing pants?
I can neither confirm nor deny it.
Okay.
Pete, I'm a huge fan and sober for 4 years. I've always wondered how long you've been sober for. It was 6 years for me, December 3rd. So about, 6 years and 3 months. So it's not my longest stretch sober. My longest stretch sober was 13 years. And I relapsed in 2001. Struggled to get sober again until 2013. So that was I was sober for parts, different parts in and out. But, this time, God willing, it stuck. One day at a time, right? So, but thanks for the question and congratulations on 4 years. Favorite bathroom on property? Craig, do you have a favorite bathroom?
Yeah, I love the American Adventure bathrooms. The ones to the right that were new additions.
Okay, now I could say something.
Back.
I could say something, but I'm not going to.
Okay.
I could say something, but I'm not going to.
Well, no, I'm just no. Those are my favorite ones. Right. I feel like they should have gotten busy and they should have gotten overrun the same way the Tangled bathrooms did. But for some reason, every time I walk in there, there's maybe only 2 or 3 other people in there. So massive bathrooms that aren't really used that much and never really dirty. You can't go wrong with that.
Let's see. What else do we have here? How can I convince my family to go on a Disney cruise? Tell them you'll leave them. I'm assuming that the issue there is more about like they're not into Disney, or they think it's going to be too many kids, or what it is. I can tell you, as a grown man with no kids, I love Disney Cruise Line, and I'm not particularly fond of other people's children. So I have a great time. I've been on 32. It was going to be 33, but, coronavirus. I do have one booked. I have a 7-night Eastern booked for the end of May. I'm crossing my fingers and hoping. But, it's, yeah, not knowing what the objections are of your family, it's really hard to ask that. Favorite Broadway musical? Oh, that's just an unfair question. If I have to pick of the ones I have seen, I'm going to have to go with Sunset Boulevard with Glenn Close. I saw it in its original run back in the early 90s with her, and I saw it again when they did the revival a few years back. And that woman's like fine wine. That woman is like fine wine. So I would have to say that, because it's a brilliant, brilliant, brilliant musical.
I've never seen it, obviously.
No surprise there.
Oh, but I love it though. Like, I don't have the same range as you do in musicals, so I haven't been fortunate to see a lot. So my parents took us to some growing up, and we only went to Broadway once when I was growing up, and we saw Beauty and the Beast on Broadway. But I've seen a good amount of shows.
That was brilliant. That was a great show.
Yeah.
I saw Beauty and the Beast as well.
And I've been lucky enough to see a whole bunch of touring shows here in Orlando, and
So what's your favorite?
Oh, my favorite, I mean, of the ones I've seen, it still would have to be Hamilton. Maybe I'm biased because of our friends in the show, but it's also like I can listen to that soundtrack nonstop and just I listen to it while I'm running. I can listen to it anytime, but before all this happened, I was very excited to get to New York City. I wanted to go see some shows, and the one soundtrack I've been listening to like a ton lately has been Hadestown, which
I haven't heard.
Oh, it's the music is great, and I will get to see it one day. But I was really hoping to get up there while the original cast was still on the show, because that's something that I don't think I'll have too many chances ever to do in life with big shows. But it's one that I wanted, so maybe, who knows? Probably not.
Somebody also asked if we think this will cause Disney to postpone their new ships. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I think, new ship is not going to sail until January of 2022. All right, they're going to get delivery of it in December of next year, and it will start doing sailings in January of 2022. So I don't think we're at any risk of that being delayed over this. So that's what I think on that. Which resort do you think has the best location in Walt Disney World? Yacht Club? Is it the way it's worded? Yacht Club or Beach Club? They're next to each other. So I don't know. I don't know how to answer that. I think best location's got to be the Contemporary. You can walk to the Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
It's the only resort you can say that with right now. When they finish the walkway, you can do it from the Grand, but I still think it's a cooler and better walk from the Contemporary. Wow. Let's see what else we got here. It's fun hanging out with you people. Do I think Bob Chapek is the fall guy for the downfall period, and then Bob Iger will step back in and save the day? No, I don't. I don't believe they're that diabolical. No, it's easy to create these narratives of the big, mean, ugly corporation, but I don't think that's it. I think they really did hit their head and come up with the idea that Chapek was the right man for the job. But then again, our metrics for judging that job are very, very different than Bob Iger's. Okay, we look at it from the parks, and we're very attached to the parks, but we also have to remember that's only one side of the company. I think he is the absolute wrong guy to run the parks, but, you know, I don't get a vote. Favorite appetizer on property? That's easy. Bacon and eggs at the Wave.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
I mean,
Easy.
I have yet to come across a better appetizer.
To the point that, like, Kylie and I have said multiple times that we've thought about just going over to the Contemporary, parking, going inside, sitting at the bar, and getting bacon, eggs, and leaving. Like, that's how good it is. It's worth driving.
Yeah.
Not for us, not that far, but still, it's worth going out of our way for a half an hour just for that.
You're gonna make a dish that has the words maple lacquered pork belly in it. I'm all in. I'm just all in. No, I could face plant. If I wasn't, if I was sitting by myself, I'd be licking that bowl clean. After that, that's such a great meal.
Yeah.
What was the park situation after 9/11? 9/11, I'm going to be honest with you, 9/11 paled in comparison to what we're dealing with right now. This is unprecedented. 9/11, the parks took a hit for about a month, if I remember correctly. But about a week and a half, 2 weeks after, a lot of the hotels in Orlando started dumping their rates. And, I always joked around, like, on a Friday, oh, it's not safe to fly, it's not safe to fly. And then, it was oh, God, what was the hotel? Courtyard by Marriott, downtown Disney, which is now, I believe, is it the B Resort? No, it's not the B Resort now. It's, I think it's a Holiday Inn. I forgot. But
yeah.
It was Courtyard by Marriott. They did a deal with us that was $29 a night, Sunday through Thursday, and I think it was $69 or $79 a night, Friday and Saturday. And we launched that on a Monday, and we couldn't keep up with the inbound reservations. So it was, oh, we're too afraid to fly on Friday, and $29 a night, we'll take our chances. Come on, Billy. And then Disney started. That's when Disney began discounting their rates. Before that, Disney refused to do any kind of discounts because, mainly, they wanted to maintain rate integrity. It's the concept that if you discount your rates, you can never go back to rack. And you know what? There's some truth to that. That's why they've had to keep doing some kind of free dining. It's once you pop the seal on that, there's no going back. So there was some truth to that, but it needed to be done. It needed to be done. And once Disney did that, the crowds came back. And I want to say things were pretty much back to normal within a month and a half. But this is different. This is different. We have a viral pandemic going on right now. This is the stuff, if you ever watch the movie Contagion, which I just watched again today, it's eerie, the similarities between what was in that movie from 9 years ago, I think it was, to now, and this. Very, very eerie. They talk about social distancing. They talk about all the things we're hearing on television right now. It's really kind of bizarre. So they saw that coming. Craig, what's the most underrated Disney soundtrack? I know the answer to that. I know my answer to that.
I think ours might be similar. I'd probably say Hunchback.
I was going to say Hercules, but I could go with Hunchback
too. That was my number two. Yeah, it was. Yeah. For me, it was either Hunchback or Hercules. So.
Well, those movies came out. It's like after Lion King, it seemed like the Renaissance peaked, right?
Yeah.
And then Mulan came out, was not as
good,
not as big, not as popular. Or Pocahontas, not Mulan. Shut up. Don't laugh at me. Right, it was Pocahontas after Lion King.
Yeah, it was Lion King, then Pocahontas, then Hunchback,
then
then
Hunchback, then Hercules,
then Mulan, then
then Mulan.
Tarzan.
I know. So it just, but I really think like Hercules and Hunchback were two, not just underrated soundtracks, two underrated animated films, which I think I'm going to go watch Hunchback.
Yeah.
Because
Not a bad choice. Yeah. I love Hercules though. That's it. To me, that's where it's hard to say underrated because Hercules, I think it was just made at the perfect time for me. I was 9 years old when it came out, or 10, like right around in that age. And the trip there where we were in New York City was actually while the Hercules premiere was happening, and we were downtown at the Disney store, and we went in to try to get tickets to see if like, oh, can we get tickets for the show after the premiere's over or whatever. And lo and behold, standing right in front of us was Demi Moore with,
Oh wow.
yeah. And I mean, I was too young to really know who it was, but I just remembered saying like, oh, who's that lady with the very short hair, because it was right after she was done filming G.I. Jane, clearly. So
Oh,
it
okay.
didn't dawn on me, but it's kind of cool that I can say I have that connection to Demi Moore. So
Yes, there you go.
yeah.
All right. So, Pete, what's your take with Disney trying to be more representative of us non-straight folks in film? Feels like marketing to me sometimes, sadly. I don't know how old you are, but as somebody who, born in the 60s, kind of came of age in the 80s, when the only representation of gay men were as the quirky little friend punchline. And that's how we were portrayed in film and media, if we were portrayed at all. So growing up, I did not have anything to represent that to me. So if it's marketing, okay. I think it's important that our media reflect us as much as possible, no matter what group we're in. I think it's incredibly important for kids. When you look at the number of kids who are, gay, bi, lesbian, transgender, queer, and the suicide rate among those kids, it's important for them to see positive representations. And I don't think it should be like all the time in every film, but I think, a fair blending of it, I think is a wonderful thing. And I know there are people that disagree, and that's fine. You can disagree, but that's my feeling on it. So I'm willing to accept a little marketing if there's a greater good on the other side of it. So that's just my opinion on it. Somebody wants to know what video game I'm playing right now. Nothing, because Animal Crossing comes out on Friday. Okay? I have the Switch right here. And I'm telling you, don't talk to me from Friday to like Sunday, because this is what I'm doing. Animal Crossing, I love Animal Crossing because I'm a 12-year-old girl, apparently. Do I have a Club 33 membership? No, they don't want me. They don't want me. I mean, they literally do not want me. So I bought DVC. They have a thing about bloggers, apparently, or at least me. But even when John and Kevin went and interviewed, and everything was going swimmingly until John mentioned that I was his business partner, and he said the tone of the conversation shifted, and then they never got invited. So, does Dreams book trips to Disneyland Paris? Yes, we do. Samantha Byrne, if you just select her from the drop down, Samantha Byrne. She's located in the UK, so she books Disneyland Paris for folks. What is the best cruise ship overall, all things considered? Now that's just, of the ones I've been on, it's a different metric for everybody. Saying best cruise ship overall, right now my favorite ship, the one I can't wait to get back on, is the Wonder. I prefer the classic ships over the new ships. And I prefer Disney over any other cruise line. But I will tell you, I have some things to say about Carnival, but you got to become a patron through Patreon if you want to hear it. Everybody asked me about it, and I'm not going to do a review of Carnival until I've done more ships, because I only did one. And that's just not a fair, it's not fair. So we technically have 2 more planned. I have one planned in June and one planned in August. And I want to try different ships, and I want to get a feel for it before I actually go on a show and say, hey, this is what I think of it. But if you want to know what I think of the Horizon, that's on Patreon. Somebody else asked me this today about Give Kids the World and how they're doing. Honestly, I haven't reached out, but it doesn't mean, well, he might, think he'd be upset if I text him at 10:30 at night.
I mean, he's got, I'm assuming you're talking about Steven.
Yeah.
I mean, his kid is only, what, 6, 7 months old at this point now, so maybe a little older than that.
Why do I have 3 phone numbers for him?
He's a busy person.
I don't know. I don't know if any of these numbers are right. I will find out. And I will, the next show I do, probably tomorrow.
So what's your favorite video that I've ever done for you?
Oh, that's easy.
I know the answer, yeah.
The Alaska one. The smog and fog and...
Fog, smog, yeah.
Yeah. When we did the Beyond the Parks. I remember telling you I thought that was the best video that had been done yet for the site. You were new. You were relatively new on the team. And you did a beautiful... That was brilliant. We should...
Oh yeah, we'll have to actually repost that during this hiatus, because that video's on the Diz channel, because that was back when we were only on the Diz. The Diz Unplugged was a channel. It just wasn't getting used at all.
Wasn't getting used. Yeah, we stopped using it.
So I'll have to port that over, because that's a good one. And then because that was back then, that's the style of video that I was making. So I made that one in that style, a complete different style. I think our second 7 and 7. I wasn't there for the first 7 and 7, but I was for the second one. So I made a kind of a trip diary for us doing our 7 and 7 in a weird style. And then my very first trip that I got to go on with the Diz was to California and to Disneyland. And again, I made a trip diary of us on that one in a complete different style. So I'll have to dig those up, but they're ones that, if I could go back to making videos in a certain way, I would like to do some of those again that aren't necessarily straight vlogs, but still you got a sense of what we were doing on those trips, and a nice mix of us, but then also the visuals and something that...
Well, when we were prepping, our Alaska content before the launch of the 2021 sailings. I was going back through looking at a lot of the old Alaska videos, and I came across that one. So I just watched that one recently. Honestly, it's beautiful video. Absolutely beautiful video. And, Craig was really pushing himself. He still does. But he was really pushing himself. I'm serious. I'm being serious. He was really pushing himself to be more creative. And because his approach tends to be more technical. And showing that he had those chops. And I just remember watching that video the first time and being like, wow, that was incredible.
Yep.
That was incredible.
Thank you.
Have I ever used Oculus VR? Yep. And it's awesome. It's awesome if it doesn't make you nauseous. Somebody asked what the website is that Sean uses for cheap flights. I'm asking him now. We'll see. Sometimes he answers right away. Sometimes it's 5 hours later. So depends.
He's told me about it like 6 times, and I forget to write it down every single time.
Favorite part of Tokyo Disney resorts? That's hard to narrow it down to one thing. But if I have to, Tokyo Disney Sea. You want to step foot in, at least for my opinion, the greatest Disney theme park in the world? Step foot in the Tokyo Disney Sea and just be prepared to be blown away. It was unbelievable. Pete, what's your opinion about how Riviera Resort sales operation will be affected by all this? Listen, I'm relatively new to the whole DVC thing, but everything I have been told is that, at least on the resale side of things, recessions are the time to buy. And I'm sorry, but virtually every major economist says we are now going to go into a recession from this. And I think that affects all luxury products. I don't think it's going to affect the price of Riviera. I don't think they're going to drop the price, but I think it's going to have a devastating effect on sales. So that's I hope we don't go into a recession. I really pray we don't go into a recession, but I think unless there's really and truly the hand of God touches us and wipes this out, I don't see any way around it. Can Dreams book Tokyo Disney? No, we don't. We don't.
I love someone asked favorite Frasier episode.
Favorite Frasier episode? Oh, Lord. I love the way they ended that show. I loved the way they ended it. But, wow. Sean just answered. He uses Skyscanner for free, and he pays for Scott's cheap flights. So those are the two sites he uses. Skyscanner, which is a free service, and Scott's Cheap Flights. Who's my favorite Animal Crossing villager? People are... Really? It's probably Rossetti, because I identify with him popping up out of the ground and yelling at people. So I'm going to go with Rossetti. Favorite game of all time? Aladdin. I think Aladdin is like the pinnacle of great 16 on the Genesis.
Okay.
I don't like it on Super Nintendo, but Aladdin on the Genesis I think is the pinnacle. Is there a place where the first podcasts are still available? Yeah, aren't there?
Yeah, it's as long as you're subscribed on iTunes, you should be able to go all the way back to the beginning. And then the show notes it's a work in progress, because there was a point in time where the show notes didn't have an actual embedded player right in them. So it's hard. It's the show notes weren't done well to begin with. I'm not saying that as a smack on.
Wow.
No, it's just part of. It's not actually necessarily the show notes. It's the way that we have bounced around where our
Watch him
shows.
backpedal now.
No, it's well, no. This is the
You
part
know, I
though.
was a one-man band, okay? I was a one-man band.
The issue is since I've been in charge of it, we have moved where the shows have been hosted, I think 4 times now, and so that has impacted all of the show notes from all of the very old shows.
Well, you know what? Now that you can't go into the theme parks, maybe that's a good project for you.
Oh, it really is. No, I've been actually telling Corey this for I think a year now. I said if I could have 3 weeks where I didn't actually do anything else, no shows, anything, and I could just go back and fix all of the feed and fix all of the show notes, like I think I could sleep, because like our podcast, our main feed for the Walt Disney World Tuesday show is like 860 errors, something like that. So it still validates, but it needs a lot of TLC, and it is the bane of my existence, but it's very important, so can't give up on it ever.
If you're a new Dreams client, do you get to choose your agent, or are you just assigned one? When you first go to book, there is a drop down where you can choose your agent if you know who you want to work with. If you don't select someone, then it goes into a general queue, and any of our agents can pull it. What do you see for the long-term future of the Diz Unplugged? I could answer that, but I'm not going to, because there's been a plan in place, and Craig knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
There's been an idea in place for a long time that we're not ready for yet.
Yeah.
But you know what? Who knows? I say this all the time, that I always try and look at awful situations as opportunities, not from a craven sense of marketing or money grabbing or anything like that, but it forces you to think differently. It forces you to think differently, like we're doing right now.
Yeah.
Okay? We've never done this. What we're doing right now on YouTube, we've been, 2 hours now?
Mm-hmm.
2 hours at this? Why? Well, because something really awful is going on, and we can't really bring everybody together in the studio. So it forces you to think differently. And you never know what's going to come from that, right? You don't know. And I have to pull something good. We have to pull something good out of this. And when I say we, I don't mean just me and my team. I mean all of us. We've got to try and find the good in this. Whether it's that we get to focus more time on our families, or we get to focus more time on things that, we've been wanting to do. We got to find some good in this. Because I think right now you can't turn on Facebook, you can't turn on the news, you can't turn on anything without being overwhelmed with this and some of the stupidity that surrounds it. So, that's kind of where my head is right now. Where can I go into this and do something different?
Yeah.
And have, and who knows where that leads? Who knows where that leads?
Yeah. And
so,
you just said we're not going to talk about the one plan that we've been talking about for the longest time that you've wanted to enact. But in terms of the future, really, the past, how many years now? It's 2020. Basically, the past 5 years, everything has just kind of fell into place in weird ways. I mean, it's funny that
That's
everyone says we're vloggers and stuff, and I don't look at that as a bad term. I think it's a great term, but it's something that we don't consider us, because the vlogging, that was a secondary thing. It was, we did the Walt Disney World show, and at that point Universal, Disneyland, but then it's like, okay, well, we're going into the parks. How can we increase the content? How can we bring people in with us? So we gave that a chance, and we started doing that, and that expanded, and then we
Right.
expanded shows, and it's just this stuff, like, it's not anything necessarily that we planned for years and then put into action. A lot of it just happened organically with what we needed to do at the time. And so we still have our long-term goal, but we don't know what's going to pop up between now and then, and stuff will, and it'll be interesting.
Somebody's saying, I have a trip scheduled for the end of December, beginning of January. Should I cancel now or wait? If you don't listen to anything else I say in the course of this show, please listen to this. Do not cancel unless you absolutely have to. I'd be very surprised if we're still dealing with this in December. And I see people doing this. They're canceling reservations for like the end of the year, and it makes absolutely no sense. You want to talk about overreaction to panic. That's a classic example of it. We're not there. You know that if this is an issue when you're getting ready to travel, Disney is not going to charge you a change fee, right? If, God forbid, we're still dealing with this in December, you're safe, right? You're safe. Disney is not going to charge you a change fee. So why? Why would you cancel now? Unless you really don't want to go and you're just looking for an excuse. If that's the case, don't use this as an excuse. Just say, I've changed my mind. I don't want to go. But if you want to do it, if you're looking forward to that vacation, why would you? There's no reason to. There's no reason to. Cancel when you have to. Mm-hmm. Why do you think Disney said, cruise line, for example, you can cancel up to the day before embarkation, so you could play it by ear and not lose any money? So, yeah, please don't. That's an overreaction, in my opinion. That's an overreaction to what's going on. All right, we're going to do one more, and then I got to go.
We've got a show tomorrow.
Okay, this will be the last one, and I'm sorry, but do you foresee DVC members pushing to sue Disney because they can't access their properties? What happens with availability given all the points that will be in circulation with the closure? I don't know what's going to happen with the availability of points and stuff like that. But I've been seeing this on Facebook, which is why sometimes I really just want to delete my account from Facebook, because the level of stupid. I'm not calling you stupid. People sue Disney because for health and safety reasons, they closed their resorts. There's a special place in hell for those people. Okay? There's a special place in hell because it's, what about me? What's in it for me? And what's being taken away from me? The people who were whining as soon as Disney announced the closures that, well, am I getting credit on my annual pass? Really? This is why this country is so screwed. Because it's a bunch of selfish pricks. What's in it for me? We're dealing with a global crisis right now. Can we maybe just take some personal responsibility and figure that stuff out later? Right now, we're kind of in this boat together. Let's not talk about lawsuits. Let's not talk about what am I going to get and what am I going to get. That's why our friggin' supermarkets have empty shelves right now. An incredible level of selfishness and panic. And I get it. But we gotta buckle up. We gotta buckle up because it's going to go on for a while. And how we treat each other and how we act toward each other is going to determine how much worse this is going to get. Because it's bad enough as it is without that. So anybody that's talking about suing Disney Vacation Club because the resorts aren't available, come on. Ugh. All right, there you go. We're going to end that on a rant. We're going to end it on a rant. Thank you for suggesting this, Craig. I had a great time.
Oh no, it's this
I get to
really
yell at people. I get to yell at people on the internet. That's just so much fun.
it's just incredible that this went from me doing a test where I was going to watch Illuminations with people and talk for like 20 minutes to 2 hours and 10 minutes that we didn't even need to play the video in. It was just I've been so tired all day. I was like, I don't know if I can talk for like 30 minutes straight. So maybe I'll do that. But hey, it's a little bit for everyone here tonight, I think.
So just one reminder, everybody, we are doing our normal Tuesday show here on YouTube tomorrow, 1 p.m. live Eastern time. So be sure it's not going to go on for 2 hours. But who knows? Maybe tomorrow night we'll do something. This was a lot of fun. I'd do this again in a heartbeat.
We'll do it plenty.
So,
yep.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for joining us.